G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice. I hope you're having a fantastic day, but with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie, and let's get right into it. Posted by user Gildan Drybrand, titled, Am I the a-hole for yelling at a disabled girl and making her cry? I, male 16, am disabled myself. I use forearm crutches due to ME/CFS, and occasionally a wheelchair when it gets bad, and an injury that I had as a kid that never healed right. I'm also neurodivergent, autism. This girl that I go to school with, female 17, is the most obnoxious girl that I have ever met. She likes to compare our disabilities and says hers are worse without ever actually disclosing what she has. I physically can't walk without supports. She can walk just fine. She will interrupt class to talk to the teacher about personal issues. Everyone I've talked to about her has disliked her as well. She is fully capable of using a backpack, but she instead uses this box. A rolling box that gets in everyone's way and is always a mess. Last time I saw it, it had trash from a field trip we went on a month ago. It always gets in the way, and she gets upset when I need the accessible class seats because I physically cannot walk. She complains about her box all the time. I will also use noise-cancelling headphones when sounds are too overwhelming, and she'll come to me and say stuff like, "It's not fair you can use them when the school says headphones aren't allowed in class." She's reported me to security for wearing my favorite Ninja Turtles hoodie to school just because it has weapons on it. One day, I sat in the accessible seat in my chemistry class. It's low to the ground with shorter seats to accommodate wheelchairs and a clamp on the side to hold crutches and canes in place. I sat down, and as soon as this girl came in, she started getting all mad at me. She said, "One day I'm gonna get here before you get that seat. I need the extra space for my box." I've been dealing with her for 5 years at this school, and I finally have had it with her shit. I looked at her and started yelling, "Oh my effing god, you do not need that goddamn box, you are not special, shut up please. I hate you, stop acting like we're friends, we are not. I hate you so much, leave me alone, you annoy me so much. I need this more than you, I can't walk dude." I had tears dripping down my face from how angry I was. She started crying and left the room, taking the backpack that she kept in that goddamn box. My friend walked me out of the room and took me on a walk around the school to calm me down a bit. I feel really bad about what I did, but I don't know if I'm the asshole or if I went about it the right way. Am I the asshole? OP has offered the following explanation for why they think they might be the asshole. 1. I shouted at a disabled girl in my chemistry class for complaining about me needing the accessible seats, which made her start crying. 2. I think this would make me the asshole because I said that we were never friends and that I hated her, which I think could have been a bit overkill. I understand that you think that could have been overkill, but I feel like it was warranted in this situation. Being disabled and being an asshole are not mutually exclusive things. You can be both at the same time. And I definitely think that's what she is being in this situation. I feel as though she understands she's being an asshole. You have communicated that you feel as though she is an asshole. You have communicated why you feel that way. I don't know how much clearer you need to be. Not the asshole for this one, OP. In the comments, Comfortable Hole says, not the asshole. She's being incredibly selfish. Yeah, everyone saying everyone sucks here probably wouldn't have if genders were not included. Seriously, why would OP be the asshole? Everyone has the right to snap after dealing with someone insufferable. Why are you even bringing gender into it? I understand why it's everyone sucks here. OP is making some big assumptions about her disabilities without the full story. I do think not the asshole simply because the way she's going about this is incredibly rude to OP. But I see why people are saying everyone sucks here regardless of the gender involved. The gender issue seems like your own personal hang-up, and is also incredibly rude of you to be dismissive because of it. Cinder Rebel replies, he says that she keeps telling him that her disability is worse than his. Is that not an assumption? He just stated that she never specified and has no visible physical disability that would mean she needs the seat. She even said that she wanted it because of her box. At this point, I would also assume that she was just being a jerk to him on purpose. Everyone keeps talking about losing tempers and invisible disabilities. She doesn't have to tell him what her disability is, but at the same time, she also can't keep saying she has it worse than him. Gender bias is harsh on this subreddit. You can't say that it's not true. Pumpkin Pra says, not the asshole. Okay, she has problems, but this is a teacher/administration problem. You shouldn't have to fight everyone who feels entitled to the accessible everything. That's why parking permits and IEPs exist. It's not your job to evaluate how much she needs that box. It should be on her IEP if she needs it, and then the teacher has to make sure that she gets it. And your accessible desk should be on your IEP, and your teacher needs to make sure that you get it. So, sorry, but it's on my IEP. You'll need to show the teacher your IEP to get the furniture that you need is the best response. But I understand that when you're left to sort this yourself, why you weren't so polite. And Love Beach 8 says, everyone sucks here. She got angry at you, so you lashed out at her. Go talk to the head of the school and ask if they can accommodate the both of you by getting another seat so you two don't have to fight over it. And now on to the update. So we had a meeting with the IEP staff, and we were discussing our disabilities, and after we got done talking about the altercation, we were talking about each of our IEP plans, and she had no physical disabilities or any physical accommodations. All she had was ADHD, and accommodations for that such as being allowed to use a fidget, headphones, and having to take breaks. Her parents said that they were disappointed that she would lie about something like that and cause a scene in class, and her schedules are going to be switched around to not interfere with mine. That's pretty much all that happened. She obviously is upset with me. She won't look my way, which I really don't mind at all. In the comments, yet another deaf guy says, I feel like some people fetishize disability whilst also self-identifying with it, all to make them feel special. It's frickin' aggravating to see. Glum Hamster replies, I'm glad that her parents didn't condone her behavior and made it clear what her actual restrictions were. I hope it was out of respect for OP and remorse for her actions, and not fear of being sued. Halispite says, as someone with ADHD, and who once had severe chronic fatigue, ADHD is absolutely a disability. But this girl is just an appropriating asshole. There's a difference between mental and physical disabilities, and I often wish that ADHD was taken far more seriously. It destroys lives, and is no joke, but Jesus, I'd never even dare think of taking someone's physical accessibility accommodation from them or comparing the two. Apples and oranges. Naranja221 says, I thought maybe she had a back condition, but it turns out she's just a jerk. She's probably jealous of the attention she perceives he gets due to his disability. I guarantee he would trade any attention he gets to be able to walk. Not all attention is positive attention. The Z-Word4 replies, people who think disabled people get attention, especially positive attention from being disabled, blow my mind. People give positive attention to temporary illnesses or injuries. Permanent disabilities, they don't. The only attention you get from being disabled, especially visibly disabled, is negative and uncomfortable. I do not understand people who seek that out. I had someone with functioning legs say that I was lucky for having a temporary disabled placard. I wanted to crucify him on my crutches. Some people go for the all press is good press approach to attention, and it's a sign that they've got some shit that they need sorting. Honestly, I just want to know what the deal with the box was. This is just my emotional support box, need to carry it with me everywhere. Obviously that was just for attention from her, and it just added to the drama. I'd love to know what your opinions were on all of this, guys. What did you think? Tell me down in the comments below. Our next post is titled, My 39 female wife lied to me, 41 male, about stopping her cancer treatment and the extent of her cancer. I don't know what even to do. My whole world has been shattered. We've known for a while that she's had breast cancer, but it was caught early and responding to chemo. She dropped a bombshell yesterday when I told her that I'd be about an hour late picking her up from chemo. She tells me, don't worry, I don't need it anymore. Wait, what? How? Why? As it so turns out, she's stopped treatment. The cancer is spread everywhere now. She's dying. At best, she has not even 6 months left. She says there's a good chance chemo will not work, and at best, all it'll do is give her time. Of course, I was mad. I've never yelled at her. I've never fought with her, but last night I felt betrayed, like a part of me died. She's dying and she's lied to me about it. She's been skipping chemo treatments for the past 2 months, so that means that she has 4 months at best to live? What, was she planning not to tell me and just randomly die? She tells me she doesn't know, but she was scared and coming to terms with the fact that her life was going to end soon. I don't know how to even feel. I'm so numb. I can't face life without her. We have a family, kids, a life. She can't be dying. She can't be giving up. Am I wrong to feel so afraid of facing the future alone? Am I wrong to feel so betrayed and so upset over her life? This is life or death. How could she lie to me like this? I feel so goddamn betrayed, I've just been crying. I don't know what to even do. TLDR, wife has terminal breast cancer. Stopped treatment without telling anyone. I feel betrayed and scared by her lie. In the comments, sorry seems paltry in this circumstance, but I am. I have 2 friends the same age who are battling breast cancer now. Both of their mums died of it after getting it at the same age. I imagine your wife was probably having a hard time deciding how to tell you. Don't waste what time you have left with her being angry. You were dealing with an understandable amount of shock and grief, but try to put that aside for now and focus on making the most of whatever you have left together. OP replies, it's just hard. We were so goddamn close. She was my soulmate, my other half. There wasn't a thing that we didn't do together. We were still planning a family vacation in July, but now I'll be planning a funeral instead. I don't know if I could ever recover. I can't do it all alone. Silhouette of a Sunset replies, I can't even imagine the pain of what you're experiencing right now, but she is your other half, and she is your soulmate. A lot of this fight is going to be attitude and outlook, which will be challenging, but don't give up on her. I guarantee she still loves you and your kids, so spend time as a family doing all of her favorite things. Record her voice, or you guys together reminiscing about your best times. If you ever need someone to talk to, I got you, man, just PM. I may be a stranger, but I can listen to you regardless of how you feel. Take care, brother. Nothing is set in stone. Convivial Cat says, I am a widow, and I'm going to say something direct and blunt to you. Stop your self-pity party right now. Do you think this poor woman wants to die? She's been handed a death sentence, and you act like she's done something horrible to you by keeping this her personal secret for a bit. From your attitude, I can understand why she waited to tell you. Guess what? You get to live, and she doesn't. Your post doesn't have a single scrap of sympathy for her. It's all about you and what you're going to suffer. If you don't get on board with her needs in the short time that she has left, you will regret it until you take your last breath. Yeesh. I feel so bad for your wife. Pepperspray24 replies, Dude, he's allowed to feel upset. It's not an either-or thing. They're both allowed to be upset. They're both allowed to go through shit. They're both human beings. He's allowed to vent here and process shit. Of course he is sympathetic. That doesn't mean that he can't be upset. I respect her fears, but dying is a huge thing to lie to your partner about. Tiberius Redditus says, People deal with their own mortality in weird ways. It's probably best to transition from feeling angry or betrayed as rapidly as you can so that you can make whatever time you have left with her count. Even other people's mortality. My dad point-blank refused to accept my mum's terminal diagnosis with pancreatic cancer. My mum, on the other hand, went home and called all of her old friends in faraway places to ensure that they had time to make plans to visit her one last time. They each came to the truth in their own time, and she said goodbye knowing that she was loved. I'm tearing up a little bit thinking about this, even though it happened 20 years ago and I was young. Opie, I wish you all the best during this time. And now, on to the update. Well, I've had time to collect my thoughts. I can't blame her or be mad at her for lying to me. I fully understand. I just get emotional and was overwhelmed. The truth is, all that is minor compared to what's coming. Well, bad news. She had a seizure on Monday, and we rushed her to the emergency room. Her timetable has shifted. She'll be lucky to make it through May. As we're told, 6 months is the absolute best situation, but even through May, it's not set in stone. It's possible she won't even last that long. Her cancer is very aggressive, and without treatment, it's just everywhere now. It's now just a matter of which tumor kills her. The tumors have spread. She's got a few small orange-sized ones pushing into her brain now, and a large soccer ball-sized one in her chest. You can feel it too. It's pushing her ribs out and incredibly painful. The seizures are a bad sign. It's about to get a whole lot worse. She's lost a lot of energy and is in a lot of pain now. She's only awake for a few hours a day. That's all that she can handle. It's scary how fast that it came over her. 8 days ago I thought she was fine. Neither of us are ready for the end. We can't even plan a farewell party because our state is locked down. As for my wife, she's 50-50. The seizure scared her. She's finding it difficult to accept that her life is over. Some days she's fine, but other days she's crying and can't accept it. I try my best to remain strong, but it's not easy. I'm terrified like I've never been before, but we can't spend all day crying. We're doing the best we can to make as many memories as we can before the end. We are yet to tell our kids. I don't know exactly how to tell them your mum is very sick and is going to go to heaven soon. Neither of us can muster the strength, but we'll have to because the end is coming. My youngest is immature for his age and doesn't comprehend death. Our daughter, who is 13, understands. She's perceptive and she knows that something is up. I apologize if I came off as rude in my last post. I was overwhelmed with emotions. I appreciate everyone for the advice. I don't think I'll be returning for another update. I will probably delete this account in a bit. In the comments, Inquisitor Steve says, "Please don't leave it too long before telling your children. I lost my mother suddenly after a battle with cancer, and not knowing that my time was so short shook me up really badly." Mockingjay100 replies, "Please listen to this, OP. My mum died of cancer, and I am so grateful that I had the time to come to terms with her death before she actually died, as well as the opportunity to take care of her a little like she always took care of me. I'm sorry to be so blunt, but not telling them is not going to keep their mum alive any longer, and it's 100% okay to cry when you tell them. Your kids will take the cues on how to deal with this from you. So please show them that it's safe and normal to cry, to feel sad, and to comfort each other as a family. Hold them close, let them feel your love, and let them know that they can ask you any questions they want. Show them that being strong and being emotional are not opposites. Good luck, OP." And OP replies, "This is just supreme advice. I'd like to carry this advice on in my life, even though it might be the hardest thing to do to tell the kids. They should definitely know. I plan to say something today or tomorrow." Not You Nanny says, "I would also recommend, if she has the energy, to make some recordings of her just talking for your kids and for yourself, about her, etc., for later on to look back on if needed. Mainly because my mum died when I was 4, 21 years ago, tomorrow, and I wish I could hear her voice. I don't remember what she sounds like, what she talked like." A rad throwaway account says, "Are you opting for in-home hospice or hospice at the hospital? Hospice care workers can also help you with telling your children that she's dying and help you get them the support and bereavement counseling they may need." And OP replies, "In-home. She refuses to go to a hospital. She wants to die at home because it's cheaper. Even in her final days, she's cheap. Lol. Damn it." And on to the final update. I just want to thank every one of y'all for your warm comments and support. I'm sorry that I never got around to replying to most of your comments. We just got busy and Reddit was the last thing on my mind. Unfortunately, my wife passed away on Monday. I really want to keep this brief, so I apologize. It was just so sudden. We were watching a movie Sunday with our kids, and she had a seizure. We were used to them by now, but this one was really violent, very different. The nurse called 911 and we rushed her to the ER, and that was that. She just never woke up. No final words, nothing, just gone. One moment she's laughing, and then the next, she's gone. It's taken a moment to realize she's gone. I'll never see her again. I'm grateful we spent the final days making memories, ensuring we would never forget her. She was a wonderful woman, and I will miss her. I really appreciate everything that you all have done. As I said, I won't be replying to most. I don't plan to stick around, so please do not give me gold or spend money on me. I don't plan to reveal any personal information or elaborate further. Still, I genuinely appreciate this sub and the kind people who have given me lots of heartfelt sympathies and advice. In the comments, Panicked Poodle says, OP, my husband has metastatic prostate cancer. The last few months have gone not well. He is young, and we were promised time that it looks like we are not going to get. He's doing a clinical trial, and it's going to be brutal. A medication that saps energy. With chemotherapy, that will likely make him really sick. He cannot even conceive of the thought that his cancer will kill him. He keeps saying that he's going to be optimistic and lucky, and they are coming up with new things all the time. But I saw the newest scans yesterday, and the cancer is eating his bones. He may fracture his pelvis, spine, or leg at any moment. He's already living with a surgically repaired arm that the surgeon said will not hold forever. He picks up the lightest of things, knowing that someday the thin plate will snap and he will have to live the rest of his life with an unrepairable break. It is not your wife's fault. It is not my husband's fault. There is no good choice, and there is no good ending. I respect your wife for making a choice, doing her best to protect you, and living her life as fully as she could. A seizure sounds like a decent way to go out. I live in fear that my husband will snap his spine and live in a bed, incontinent, or have pain that he cannot live with. I am so sorry for your loss. I am so sorry for all of us. I don't know how humans get through this. And OP replies, one day at a time. There are some small silver linings that I've had time to come to terms with. I'm grateful that she had enough energy to do things, to make memories. I'm glad that she died with her family. I just wish that my kids wouldn't have had to see their mother die. Tony Flagg says, as someone that has watched family members linger with terminal illnesses, going this quick was probably a blessing. I had people struggle for years, only to pass after months in hospice. It was just awful for everyone involved. That's enough Reddit for the rest of the day. Probably. Unless I get bored or something. I'm going for a walk with my dog. Muroid says, I think for a lot of people, when it's sudden, they wish that they'd had more time, and when it's long and drawn out, they wish there had been less suffering. Ultimately, the problem is that it's just an inherently terrible situation, and there's no real good way to make it good, because the only thing that would accomplish that is if it didn't happen at all. Completely agree with this. My best friend died at 17 from a heart defect. Just dropped dead. Bam! No warning, no pain, just dead. It messed me up for a long, long time. It still plays on me now. However, I take so much solace in knowing that he didn't know that he had so little time left, or that he felt zero pain as it happened. I just wish that I had a chance to say goodbye. My nana died of terminal lung cancer, and while my view of death was heavily colored by my best friend's death at this point, it was freaking awful to see her deteriorate. I'm a very strong believer in assisted suicide and euthanasia, as I know that she would have rather ended her life without ending up in the hospice in constant pain and barely able to do anything for herself. That was probably worse than prison for her. Anywho, that's enough feelings that have escaped their bottle for one day. I just feel like I didn't have any space to make comments through this whole story because I wanted, to tell it without my interrupting with comments. I don't know about you guys, but I feel very beat down from so many stories of death. Yes, there is silver linings in all of this, but oh my god. The more I look at these comments, the more stories I see of cancer, of murders, of strokes, of everything. I think in a sense I agree with that last comment that it was good that OP had time to process things with his wife. I think they made the most of the time they had left, and I think that OP has had time to process that and is happy with everything that has happened. Or at least, as happy as you can be, has made peace with it. That's really all I have to say about this matter. Let me know what you guys think of this, and I'm sorry if this upset any of you. Anyway, that's where I'm going to leave today's story, guys. I do hope you enjoyed, and I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.